Welcome back to the channel. RevKev RC here once again. I want to do a quick follow-up with the MJX something letters and numbers. There's a P in there, 12. It'll be in the description. You guys already know what you're looking at here. I've done 2 videos with this where I talked about it. This is going to be a video where I talk about it a little bit more. Sort of the state of where it is in its upgrade process. And if you watched my previous videos, I think it was actually the second video, I talked about buying one of these for my nephew who turned 8 recently. So I just got back from that trip where I gifted it to him, and obviously he's an 8-year-old boy. He loved it. But I got to tell you in this video how it's fared after 4 days of him running it nonstop. So I'm going to talk about what I've done to this thing so far, and I'm going to pick your brains and see if anybody out there who has one of these, or maybe even the Jeep version, can help me out, because I'm having a hard time with something, and I'm hoping that the community here can give me some assistance. So you may have noticed right off the bat, looking at it right here, that these are the original wheels. I said in another video that all I simply did was took out the wheel ring and taped it off to keep water from getting in. That works just fine. There's nothing wrong with these wheels. I really like the look of these, but I wanted something aluminum because I can't leave anything alone. And if you're watching this, probably you can't either. So I found these on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. I think the brand was KYX or something like that. It's a pretty popular, inexpensive brand on Amazon. All 4 of these wheels were probably in the $20-something. I don't want to lie to you. I don't remember. It was on the less expensive range of a set of 4 beadlock wheels. So, little backstory to that. They came all black, and I had the intention of bolting on these replacement wheel rings, the beadlock rings on the outside, because then that would get me a very, very close look in appearance to the stock wheel. You see how that fits in there really nicely. However, I did not realize, because I was in a hurry, it was probably late, or it was an impulse purchase, you know, name what you want to. There's no holes to screw these into, so these will not be going on these wheels. And I will save these for another RC project in the future. Although I guess if I really, really, really wanted to, I could just glue them there, but I'm not going to do that. So what I did, because these came all black, is I just used one of my Sharpie paint pens. I got this at Lowe's. It comes in a pack of all your kind of like generic colors: red, blue, white, silver, and black. So I just used a paint pen, a couple of coats around it, all the sides, and it's not perfect, but I can touch it up as many times as I want to and make it look perfect every single time after, you know, scratching it on rocks and things like that. So that is visually a nice little upgrade. These wheels did come with a very nice cover, so you've got no exposed hex. It does make it a little bit annoying to change out your wheels and tires, but once I get these sorted how I want to, I don't anticipate changing them out unless I rip one open or something like that. But on the subject of that, what I need your help with is trying to find a tire upgrade that is this size. It needs to be the 1.9, and it needs to, the reason why it has to be a 1.9, I tried the 1.55 from my Capra UTB 18, and it does not clear the portals. So it's got to be the 1.9 to clear the portals, and I would like it to be whatever this size is, and I'm fixing to measure it, and we'll all know what this size. Let me get it back in camera here, frame. This appears to be, let me not squeeze it too hard, something, I would like something that is very nearly this same size. Lock that down. I don't want to go bigger because then I got to start trimming and it loses the look of the truck. I don't want to lose this look. So 3.5 inches, according to my Amazon calipers here. So if anybody knows where I can get a 1.9 and a 3.5 inch wheel or overall height, diameter, I would super appreciate that. Let's see, what are we talking about? 89 millimeters, so 90 millimeters, 90 millimeters tall. All I can find are 120 minimum, or yeah, the minimum in a 1.9, and that looks great on like a 10 scale, but that's going to be too much for this guy. I don't want to raise him up any higher than he already is. I like this look. So if you're watching this, and I appreciate you watching, by the way, if you know I can get a tire that is approximately 90 millimeters, give or take a few, I don't mind a little bit taller. I don't want to go smaller, but I will accept a little bit taller, just not a lot. Like I don't want to go, you know, crazy bigger, or 3.5 inches, something in that realm. If anybody knows, please comment down below. Send me an email. Do whatever you want to do. Please let me know. I'm drowning here. I can't find a wheel that fits this. Or a tire that fits the 1.9 in this height. So that is my request to my channel watchers, if you don't mind. All right, so we covered the wheels. I'm asking for help on the tires. These are the original foams. I think they perform just fine. I did not vent them, like I said before. I do like having them waterproof so I can run them through streams and trails and fun stuff like that. I kept the original on the back because I'm not going to buy a whole nother set of 2 of beadlocks just to replace the one. I don't think that's necessary. And, you know, it's still functional. It's still taped off. I can still use it. But in any case, the truck itself is largely unchanged. I have not attempted to program anything. All I did is gone through and checked every screw that I could reach, and everything is still nice and tight. The front bumper has taken quite a beating, and it was still nice and tight. So this thing is an incredibly strong and durable RC, period, but also for the money. Now, I want to suggest something else as well, and I'm going to grab it because I didn't think of it until I just now saw it. This thing is going to require lubrication. We got an all-metal drivetrain. All right, all of this in here, even though it is chromed steel, like they've highly polished it, all this stuff still makes noise. It's quite squeaky, especially if you run it a lot in the dirt. Get you some don't use regular. You could use regular WD-40, but it's not going to stick. You need to get something that's going to hold on to these parts and keep them from squeaking and all that stuff. And also, you don't want it to be slinging off and spinning everywhere. So just make sure that you're lubricating, especially your drive end points and any metal that's touching on metal. I would use something like this. Any of your plastic on metal that doesn't have a lot of slinging action, use silicone lubrication. This stuff right here is great. That'll also make your body look brand new. Spray the whole truck down. You can literally spray the entire truck with this. Let it sit overnight. Come back and wipe off the excess and kind of polish it in, and your highly abused RC will come back to a decent shine. Like all these scratches are still visible in there. Like these are pretty deep, but this stuff will make it less obvious and it'll make it significantly more attractive, you know, if you care. In any case, get some kind of a lube that's going to stick. Don't get this too close to your bearings. These are metal shielded bearings. These are not rubber sealed bearings. And even if you do use a standard WD-40, like what, you know, the standard blue can, don't get this stuff or that stuff close to those bearings because it's usually going to be a degreaser. Now, this being a specifically for a lubricant and not a water displacement, because if you didn't know, that's what that is, water displacement. And it also degreases things. So if you don't know, just YouTube it. WD-40 will degrease your bearings. So use something that's not going to degrease your bearings. This stuff right here is pretty safe, but I don't grease or lubricate the bearings directly. I just spray it in the universal here, and then the ones for the driveline system themselves. And then any of the plastic bits that rub on metal, I will use silicone lubrication just so you don't get that squeaky, dirty sound. So that's pretty much the only maintenance this thing needs. If you get it wet, just blow dry it out, leave it in the sun, do something like that. Upgrade wise, I haven't actually done anything upgrade to it. I did swap out the plastic servo horn with an aluminum one. Let's see if I can get that in the camera there. Right up in here. This is one that came with a power hobby servo, the one that I love. I used the longer, lower down hole, and it actually gave me more steering throw. So I have increased I have decreased the turning radius by just a little bit by using the longer servo steering linkage connection down here. So I got a bunch of these laying around from buying those servos, and they all come with them. So I went ahead and upgraded to the metal. And the reason for that wasn't because I wanted more steering necessarily. That was just a byproduct of adding that and having the option with the servo horn. The reason I did it is because I noticed that after running it a bit, maybe jumping a curb or hitting some rocks kind of hard, the steering would just be a little bit off left or right randomly. And I was tired of chasing center. So obviously what I did is I left the truck on and I just kind of like manually pushed the tire that way and then move the steering, and then push the tire that way and move the steering, and just discovered that the movement in the steering was from the plastic servo horn. So I had to 86 that thing. I tossed it right in the garbage, threw on the metal one, and that steering issue has been resolved. So if you find that your steering center is drifting randomly, even if you're not really bashing hard, if you're doing hard crawling and you're putting a lot of torque on your servo and your wheels and your steering system, that's almost certainly what it is. This servo is actually fairly strong. I think it's really appropriate for this scale, and especially for what they've designed it for. So that's kind of the state of this truck. I want to talk about some battery options that are out there that are better than what come with the truck standard. Now, the reason I even entertained this is because I took my 2 batteries that came with this and I left them with my nephew so he'd have 4, because his truck came with 4. So I went ahead and got myself some more batteries. I wanted to do that because those lithium ion batteries are safer for storage and general having around, as opposed to the LiPo batteries, which I've spoke about probably too much on this truck already. But I did get the Angry Snail. These are fairly heavy. They fit in here really tightly, and they come already ready with the Dean's plug, so you can just use them and have a ball. This adds another 1,000 milliamps to the 2,000 that came with the truck. So if you have the original batteries, but you want to take an extra on the trail for, I wouldn't use these for anything technical if you're trying to make yours into a better crawler, because they're long and they're heavy, so you can't slide this forward in the tray. This takes up the entire tray, but it will give you a nice long run time if that's important to you. Now, if you would like a similar sized battery to what came with the truck with more runtime, these are, I can't say that, I'll just put it up here, but I'll throw links for these batteries and even these in the video. Whatever I show you, I'll throw a link in the video for. But these are also lithium ion, but these are 3,400 milliamp lithium ion. So kind of you're getting 1,400 more milliamp than what comes with the truck, and they're the same size. And I've used these a few times, testing them out, running them around. The gas mileage seems to be accurate, and the power is there. It's the same C rating as the stock battery, so you're all good there. I think, yeah, this is 25 C, so you should get a little more punch out of these, but these are heavier. Something to consider. These are a good value. I want to say a set of these was somewhere in the $20 something. I don't want to lie to you guys. I'll put it in the description. They're all on Amazon, but you can get those. Now, another set of batteries, if you're looking to go with the 2S, it's lighter. This is, yeah, this is probably lighter than this. It's definitely lighter than this, but it's still a LiPo. And we're looking at the, what's the C rating? 60C. All right, so the 60C battery is going to be a pretty significant jump if you want a little bit more power, but you're only got 1500 milliamps. I would say this might be for more of a technical crawl. Now, you see that these have the EC3, IC3 connector on it. I swapped these out when I got these batteries. These came with Dean's connectors, so I'll search these out on Amazon and put them back in there. If you're looking for a LiPo that is fairly inexpensive, Z batteries are actually really good for the money. So I recommend these all the time. This is a good battery. They come with Dean's. I swapped them out because that's how most of my other RCs are. These are what I use in my UTB-18, the one I mentioned earlier. I got too many RCs, guys. So yeah, I think I bought these that come with a pair too. So there's 2 of those. And oh yeah, this came with a WL Toys RC, and this is a 2200 milliamp. This fits in there as well. So if you have WL Toys, or if you see their batteries and you get a good price for them, this will fit in there. It fits nicely. It's a 2S, 2200 milliamps. It's a LiPo. We're looking at, it does not list a C rating, so maybe do a little research on that one. But I had this laying around from a WL Toys that I was trying out, which is a pretty cool RC. I can't think of the name of it. It looks kind of like a laser nut, but the drivetrain is really brittle. I have broken the outdrives on the same side twice, not doing anything really crazy. So that one is a little bit frustrating for me, but hey, I got a battery. In any case, that is the state of this. Oh, let me tell you about the 4 days of abuse that my nephew gave his. So I want to show you a video, but I'm not going to put him on the internet. If, you know, I didn't even ask his parents if they minded, but the footage I got wasn't that good. It was just him crashing it a lot. He was running it into an aluminum motorcycle ramp down. He was jumping it off the thing. He ran it into his dad's truck tires a bunch of times. That thing has driveway rash and patio rash all down the sides. I mean, it looks like it's been through a pretty harsh run, but every single thing on that truck still works perfectly as the day it came out of the box. And then 4 days later after I left, when he was playing with it, virtually nonstop. And with the addition of the 2 extra batteries I brought him fully charged, he was playing with it immediately. And despite this being a hobby grade RC, I was able to explain to him how all these dials work once. And from that point forward, he understood. So he kind of understands like this lower dial here is very useful if he wants to play with it indoors because it will only go so fast. So in order for him to play with it indoors, he learned that really quickly. But as an 8-year-old, I think he's a pretty good example of what I'm trying to get at. Is this is a very good RC for a younger beginner or a child. So that is the state of this little beauty. If you watched my previous video on this, I did mention that I have the 8th scale version on the way. It is coming AliExpress, so you know it's going to show up at some point, sometime. It was listed as being on the boat. I think it literally says on the boat or on transport, something like that, like last week, and then no update. So it's out there somewhere on the way. So when that hits the channel, we're going to talk about it. We're going to do the unboxing properly, give you guys the experience. I want you guys to experience it the way that I'm experiencing it. So this one didn't really get the unboxing that a lot of people may have wanted, but I think my videos are pretty thorough on this little guy. I'm not done with him yet. If somebody out there watches this and gives me good suggestions for tires that will meet the criteria that I'm trying to do with this, I would super appreciate it. And then I'll throw it up on the channel, I'll give you a shout out, and we'll we'll have a party. But this is not done. We're going to do more footage with this. I attempted to find there's a winch that goes on the Jeep version, but it is not compatible with this, so that won't be happening. And I don't even know where you put it, honestly. Yeah, there's stuff that goes here, so I can't put it there. That would interfere with the steering right there. So yeah, I think this is just going to be what it is with some better tires if I can get better tires found for it. But I just don't think this thing requires a whole lot of work. It already comes with lights, comes with an extra set of springs, which I'm not going to use because I like how this thing is able to romp around. The other springs are lighter for a more crawler experience. I'm not going to use those. I do want to point out, since I'm here with you guys, what really bolsters the fast nature of how they intended for you to use this is the forward cant, I guess, or rearward, however you want to view it, but the cant of the front axle hubs here, how they're canted like that, which is to indicate they're meant to hit things and jump and land forward like this, as opposed to like a crawler. So I just think they made a really cool 12 scale RC here that is just fun right out of the box. And here's a bunch of different battery options for you. If you want LiPo, have a party. These are fine. These are their brand. These are $40 a piece though, and they come with brackets and stuff that you don't need. It's the brackets to adapt it to another battery compartment. These go right in there. I would probably recommend these. These are lithium ion. Again, for a kid, you want more runtime. These come in I think they come in a pack of 2, but the links will show you. And they come with I don't know if they come with a charger, but the charger that, I guess that's a thing I should talk about. The charger that comes with this says not to plug a battery in that's higher than 2,000 milliamps or 3,000. It's right on it's on the sticker on the charger. So you might not be able to charge these with that charger, but these come with a charger. So you can, I guess, maybe buy these. I charge all my batteries on a separate charger. You know, I have a standalone charging station. So I don't even use the chargers that come with these because they're all very slow. So I can use my own charger. But something to consider, if you don't have other chargers that you use like I am, this might be the route to go because they come with chargers. But do a little research. I'll put some links in the video and you can decide for yourself. So that's going to do it. I hope you guys found this video informative. And let me know, do you think the paint looks good? I think it does. I think this wheel looks really good. And I think it holds true, pretty true to the original look. Not as dark, but that's okay. I think it pops a little bit better. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you know where I can get tires like this that are just a little bit better compound tread in 1.9, let me know. And I will certainly give you a shout out and put them on the channel with a big old thanks and a smile. All right, that's going to do it. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all the stuff that YouTube thinks is worth it. Oh yeah, there's a bell. I keep forgetting to say that ring the bell, I guess, for notifications. So ring the bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.